What's up, adventure travelers? It's a beautiful early evening, 5:45 here in Drašnice, Croatia. Just going to take you for a quick look around the family village. Thought it might be interesting for you to see a little bit of coastal Croatia. Let's go. How's that for a view out your front door? Those mountains, let's see if we can get some more of them in there. Oh, pretty unreal being on the beautiful coast and having those mountains right in behind you. Just walking down to the beach, look at that. Amazing. So fun fact number one is 2025 is the 50th anniversary of coming to Croatia. Yes, I've been coming here since I was 5 years old. Fun fact number two is this is the first time I've been here that it's been out of tourist season. So it's the end of May and the season doesn't start, I don't know, till June, July. So there's not a single tourist here. Well, apart from me, but I like to try and think of myself as a local these days, even though I can't speak the lingo. But how good is this? Sorry, I'm going to keep banging on about how good this is, because it just bloody is. Here's the mountains again, and behind the village. I mean, look at that. Alright, we're sort of on the main drag now. There's 3 or 4 small beaches, and one of them is where there's a couple of cafes and places like that with tables and chairs. But if you want a restaurant or shops or anything, this is not the place. I'm pretty sure Drašnice is the smallest village on the whole Riviera, to be honest with you. I haven't checked that, but it's a place where families come in holiday and just relax. In the season, you can come down here, get a beer or a cocktail, get an ice cream there, and it's pretty busy down this part of the village. And we're coming out onto the little pier where you can hire boats and jet skis, maybe? I don't know. I've never hired a jet ski, but it's a good spot to look back towards the village. Let's do the old panorama and out to sea. There's Var over there and coming back. There you go. And here we are, walking the back streets. There's lots of cool little alleyways, pathways, old 100-year-old houses that haven't been rebuilt. Like this one here, look at that. How awesome is that? Well, a tour of the village probably wouldn't be complete without a visit to one of the beaches. As you can see, they are not sandy, they're all pebbles. But you just get a lilo instead of a towel to come down. And it's pretty wavy today. It's usually a lot more still than this. Bloody hell. Look at that. Hey. Look at that. In fact, I've never actually seen it this rough. Anyway, beautiful to be able to lie on the beach with those mountains in the background. So next time I'm here, you're all invited to come along, have a beer at the bar we just passed, and bring your togs. We'll be going for a swim. There's some cool little alleyways as well between houses. They're built up close next to each other. Some of them are uninhabited, like that one maybe. It looks about 100 years old. And some of them look pretty close to brand new. So there you go, that's the joy of these old European villages. We're halfway back up the hill, and I just wanted to show you one of my favourite views, which is one used or used to be used in postcards. We're just up above the pier that I walked past before, and here it is. Beautiful view coming down from the village over the pier where all the boats are, and then you've got the houses off to the side. Look at that. Next up is the village World War II memorial. It's a mosaic, I hope you can see it, with the sun shining on it. It might not be the best, but hopefully you can make out the German soldiers firing at the woman. And the story behind this is the Germans came into the village asking where all the men were, because the men were actually up in the mountains evading the Germans, and the woman wouldn't tell the Germans where they were, so they shot her dead. And here are the names of all the men from the village. As you can see, 1941 to 45. All these men died fighting the Germans, fighting the Axis. That's quite a lot for a tiny little village. And there's my grandfather, Ehrlich Ved. And saving the best for last, now we are heading up the hill, the steep hill, up towards the mountains. Just a bit of a hike, not too far, but got this to look at on the way. Wow, there we go. The higher you go, the better the view. Almost there. Up the hill. Up the hill. And up the path through the gate. So this is the house. Don't mind the giant dog. This is the house where my father was born and my grandfather built 100 years ago, something like that. Here is the olive tree that my father and his two brothers used to play under as little boys. There's a tap here now, but under there used to be a well, and that was the only source of water in the house. And behind me is the house where my father was born, along with his younger brother and his older brother. Let's try and get a better look at it. There we go. With your stone walls. Hey, Jelly. Hey. Hey, boy. Hey. Hey, you big boy. Big boy. And here's the view from the house. How's that? Back to the olive tree. Now we're going out the back of the old house. Okay, it's a bit overgrown, but in behind you can see the terraced land with the stone walls, and all this was gardens. Every square inch of this would have been covered in vegetables, and there would have been a few chickens, and who knows, maybe even a pig back in the day. Look at those mountains in behind. Aren't they beautiful? Just, how's that for a view from your backyard? Just crazy. Anyway, the gardens. full of veggies, and yep, there would have been chickens and all sorts. And every house was the same. 70 years ago, 80 years ago, everybody grew their own food. Anyway, we'll head back down the path, the old Croatian steps. They're probably over 100 years old as well. So there you go. That's the tour of Drašnice, and finishing up with the old house behind me. Hope you've enjoyed that little tour of the family village. And that's all for now. What's up, adventure travelers? We are here in the coastal town of Zadar. And yes, you guessed it, it's time for the 3-minute geography lesson on Croatia. Croatians first arrived in modern day Croatia in the late 6th century, and it was internationally recognized in 879. Tomislav became king in 925, and this elevated Croatia to the status of kingdom. Croatia entered into a union with Hungary in 1102, and in time became part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. This was in order to ward off those pesky Ottomans who were taking over Eastern Europe and Northern Africa, as well as the Middle East. After World War I, the country of Yugoslavia was formed, and this was a combination of the republics of Slovenia, Croatia, Serbia, Bosnia-Herzegovina, Macedonia and Montenegro. Yugoslavia continued after World War II and came under control of Josip Broz Tito, who was the partisan military leader. Tito was a Croatian, but the capital of Yugoslavia was in Belgrade, Serbia. Tito ruled Yugoslavia until his death in 1980. Tito is probably best known for his policy of non-alignment. He broke away from Stalin in the very early 50s, but he didn't exactly side 100% with the West either. Yugoslavia continued on for another 10 years, but without a strong leader and prompted by geopolitical events, including the collapse of the Soviet Union, Yugoslavia fell apart and some of the republics plunged into civil war. In the end, Croatia became an independent nation in 1991. Croatia is a small coastal country about the same size as Togo in West Africa and about 10% smaller than its neighbour Bosnia-Herzegovina. Its other neighbours are Hungary, Serbia, Slovenia and Montenegro. At this current point in my travels, I'm hard pushed to find a country that has a more stunning coastline. Croatia's population of 3.9 million is down by almost 1 million from its peak in 1990. It's made up of 92% Croatians, 3% Serbians and 5% minorities, mostly from the other former Yugoslav republics. 88% of the population are Christians, predominantly Catholic. 7% are atheists. Hooray! And the remainder are still deciding over multiple bottles of red wine. Croatia has the largest economy of all the former Yugoslav republics and the second highest GDP per capita of the former republics after Slovenia. Croatia's economy is advanced and diversified, and major sectors include services, industry, agriculture and tourism. Fun fact, Croatia receives over 20 million visitors per year. Croatia joined NATO in 2009 and the EU in 2013. In 2023, Croatia adopted the euro, so in all regards, Croatia is a fully integrated European country. I'm lucky enough to call Croatia my second home, and I've been a citizen of Croatia for 30 years. If you like nature, beautiful coastlines, mountains, the sea, culture, history, food and wine, then Croatia should definitely be on your to visit list. If you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up, subscribe, comment below and share it with your family and friends. Go to this website to find out more about the ride from New Zealand to Ireland. Go to this website to find out more about the IHC, who I'm raising money for. The IHC look after the intellectually disabled community in New Zealand, and if you've got so much money that you don't know what to do with it, you can chuck some in the pot for the IHC at my Give a Little page down there below. All the links are in the description below, so get clicking and have fun. That's all for now, trendsetters. Thanks for watching, travel safe and see you on the road.